Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to do something a little political. So if you are not into politics, that's fine. I'm not, taking sides or anything like that, but I do want to read something that I came across last night, and it kind of, for those of us in the United States, it really puts things into perspective. And a lot of people kind of already knew that this was the direction that it was headed, or that this was the game that was being played. But I wanted to read a few paragraphs of this article that I found, and it kind of really pulls the curtain back on the man behind the curtain, if you will. So this is basically talking about who takes control of the country if there's no presidential election in this year. And my personal belief is that that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to prolong this stay-at-home order and prolong people not getting jobs and not being allowed out of their house, and the list goes on and on. And I think that they're doing that so that they can finally get the president out of the White House. They've tried for 4 years and they haven't been able to do it, and so they finally figured out a way to do just that. And I think it also goes along with, God put the president in the position that he's in for a reason and for such a time as this. But God is also going to allow this to happen because we are at the end of time. We are at the end of the church age. And I think that when this happens, because I truly believe that this will happen, it kind of will go along with the New World Agenda. And the president is kind of holding that back. He's holding back the New World Agenda because he's, for America and all that stuff. So anyways, this article says, what if the pandemic were to become so bad that the election could not be held? There is no acceptable reason for this to happen since there are alternatives to voting. See, they're trying to have mail voters, but they're already seeing that there's a mass fraud with that. And the American people are really putting up a fight about this. And then it says, but it is possible, although unlikely, that voting by mail will be unrealistic if the pandemic were to get so much worse that it endangered the lives of postal workers. So it is not too early to ask this question. What does the Constitution provide in the event that an emergency precludes an election before the end of the term of the president? It has never happened before in history. Okay? And then it says, we begin, of course, with the words of the Constitution. They provide no definitive answer, but they do provide some clear conclusions. Absent an election, the incumbent president does not continue to serve in a capacity until election is finally held, like we see in Israel. The president who is in the seat now does not stay in the seat until an election is held. Regardless of whether a successor is chosen, the president has to be out of office January 20th, regardless. The terms of the president and the vice president shall end at noon on January 20th. Nothing could seem clearer. Yet the end of the paragraph provides that the term of the successors shall then begin. But what if no successor has been elected? Does the president continue to serve in office? The answer is no, because his or her term will definitely end at noon on January 20th, regardless. If not reelected, the president becomes a private citizen on that day. So who then becomes president? The Constitution provides no solid answer. However, Unlike when a president is impeached or dies, there is no set of succession plan for a situation with no election. Okay, so meaning that there's nothing in the Constitution that provides any answer on what to do, like legalities of what will happen. So this kind of goes on, and it shows who will actually take the place of the president. And it's the House Speaker. And who is the House Speaker? It's Nancy Pelosi. Okay? So she's been salivating this entire time. She's been kind of setting the traps. She's wanting the president out of office, and she wants the vice president out of office so that she can run the country. God forbid. Okay? She is a New World elite. Okay? She wants everything. She wants open borders. She wants people who are not legal here. She wants them to have money. She wants all this money to come from somewhere, but there's no money to come from anywhere because there's no jobs and she's wanting the country to remain closed so that people are so desperate that she can come in and give all the answers to this new world. Let's all join in one big party, right? Let's join in one big solution. And like I said, the president is for America for the most part. And even though he does things and says things and tries to do stuff that, the states have become so against him that no matter what he says or what he does, they're going to do the opposite. And, we saw just yesterday how the president, or last week, how the president said that the churches are to remain open. He's the final say, right? He's the head of the country. He's the ruler of the country. He says that the churches need to remain open, that they're essential. You get one state who defies his orders and says no and continues on with the ban of churches remaining open. And so, therefore, it's like, who's running the country, right? Is it Trump, or is it the states, or is it Nancy Pelosi, who also comes from California? Okay, so we see that they're keeping the country closed. They want people out of work. They want people out of jobs. They want people to stay in their homes. They want this and they want that, and they want, money for people who aren't legally residents of the United States. They want to give them money. They want to bankrupt the country. They want to give financial stuff to other countries. And like I said, they've been trying to get the president out for 4 years, okay, and without success. They have been wringing their hands, hoping and praying that he would catch this coronavirus. Because if he catches it, how much easier is it for somebody to slip in, right? How much easier is it if the vice president catches something? So, if something happened to the president and the vice president, let's just say they died or whatever, or they got this illness and they died, Nancy Pelosi would step up as the president. So they can't figure out another way, so they're going to be a sneaky way. There's got to be this sneaky solution to it. So keep the country shut down, defy the president, and because he can't hold any rallies, none of them can really. They can't hold rallies. Make mail-in voters so that people can't go and vote for him. And keep the country shut down so that he has to be out regardless, no matter what, on January 20th. He cannot continue on with his presidency. There's nobody, for president, because I can't imagine anybody voting for what is the option now. So what's the next one? Nancy Pelosi, right? I can't imagine her running the country, but she's been salivating for years in hopes that she can. There's been different things that have come up that have been speculated, but I kind of believe, and I won't go into that now, but that she's had plans on doing stuff, and her plans were foiled. And I mean, it's just an all underground, deceptive, satanic plan, really. And like I said in the beginning, God set the president up for this the such a time as this. He's the last trump before Jesus comes, and he set into motion the prophecies that are unfolding now that we are seeing. And this plan, or this deal that he had put out, is going to be either the deal that the Antichrist signs and makes better, or this deal is going to cause the wrath of God, which we kind of see happening anyways, because of the annexation of the land, which is dividing of the land of Israel. God's hand is going to come down. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you. It's just kind of off on my own. I wanted to read that for you, kind of pull the curtain back and show you, hey, this is what's going on behind the scenes. This is what is happening, and this is the plot that I kind of saw that was happening, but I didn't read what would really happen if there was no election, right? And that's something to kind of think of. What would happen if there is no election? If they keep the country down and keep the country locked up and keep canceling things and saying you can't come out and you can't do this and you can't do that. That's their plan. That's what they want to do. And, it kind of, if you want to look at it in the biblical sense, you can see how God's hand is kind of lifting off, and how he's allowing this to take place so that the one world government and one world order can come in, because it's already happening now. The one world agenda is happening now, and the president we haven't even had an election. So it's just it has to further go on. So be alert, guys, here in the United States. Be alert, and don't fall asleep. Don't think that this stuff can't happen. Don't think that, this is just baloney. You need to really look at the agenda that's going on and realize that, this is the end of the church age, and put 2 and 2 together as far as biblical senses and prophecy, and realize that, personally, this is my personal view, okay? This is my personal view, is that Trump is not going to win again. You have a lot of people that are rooting for him, and, with the alternative, I would hope that he would win again, but I don't see that happening. Just because of where we are at prophetically, I don't even see him getting into office again. So, anyways, with that, I thought I would share some insight with you guys, some thoughts, and I will be back later to do some other stuff, and I hope you guys have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.